Thousands of years ago, there was a king named Nimrod, who was ruling the whole world. He had built his extensive empire from south to north, and after gaining more control and power, Nimrod became proud and had statues of himself created. He then said to his people, "I too am a god. Worship me also." One day, Nimrod experienced a vivid dream during the day. In the dream, a bright light came down from the sky, shining even more brightly than the sun and the moon. Another version of the story tells that he experienced a dream where a figure removed him from his throne and threw him to the ground. Feeling uneasy, Nimrod woke up sweaty and asked his trusted fortune-tellers to explain these strange dreams. "There will come a new religion," they said, "and the man who brings that religion will destroy your throne." Nimrod thereupon asked his advisors, and then ordered the killing of all newborn boys, resulting in the tragic death of around 100,000 babies. It was at that point that his mother was about to give birth to Abraham, who was known as Ibrahim, A.S., in Islam. Before we continue with the story, let's take a moment to understand why Abraham holds such significance for the Abrahamic religions. He is the ancestor of numerous significant prophets and is deeply respected within the major revealed religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. All these religions think highly of him. For the Jews, he's like the perfect example of being good. He followed all the rules, even before they were written down, and was the first to realize there's only one true God. They see him as the ancestor of their special group, and the first of the important messengers from God. In Christianity, he is seen as the father of all believers, Romans 4:11, and his trust in God and sacrifice is taken as a model for later saints, Hebrews 11. In the Quran, God is quoted as saying to Abraham, "I will make thee an imam to the nations." Imam means leader, model, pattern. Abraham was born. Returning to the story, his mother asked his father, Uzzah, to visit the temple and pray on her behalf. "If I am blessed with a son, I will bring him to you, and then you can present him to Nimrod. This act will earn you Nimrod's favor." However, this was a trick. Shortly after Uzzah left, she gave birth to Abraham and secretly placed him in a cave. When Uzzah returned, she told him it was a stillbirth. Whenever Uzzah was away, she cared for her son in the cave, where she observed Abraham sucking his fingers because the angel Gabriel made milk and honey flow from them. It is said that Abraham spent his early childhood in the cave and started spreading Allah's message of unity. Abraham left the cave as soon as he emerged from it as a teenager. Over time, Nimrod's dream was forgotten, and Abraham left the cave. Asa finally learned that his son was alive, and they started spending time together. But Abraham realized his father's statue was an idol. When Asa explained that they were God statues, Abraham was surprised and rejected the idea. Abraham discovers God, Allah. One night, Abraham didn't feel like sleeping, so he left his house and went to a mountain in a cave. He gazed at the clear night sky, observing the planets and stars worshipped by people on earth, which made him deeply sad. He thought about what was beyond the moon, stars, and planets. After a while, Abraham went back to his house and asked his father and the people who worshipped these celestial bodies. Allah narrates Abraham's words in the Quran. "And remember when Abraham said to his father Azar, 'Do you take idols as gods? Verily, I see you and your people in manifest error.'" Surah Al-An'am 74. Abraham, peace be upon him, was debating with his people, explaining to them the error of their ways in worshipping idols and images. He explained to them the error and deviation of worshipping the 7 planets, which they said were the moon, Venus, and the sun. When the night covered him with darkness, he saw a star and said, "This is my Lord." But when it set, he said, I like not those that set. Then, when he saw the moon rising, he said, This one is my Lord. But when it disappeared, he said, If my Lord does not guide me, I will certainly be one of the misguided people. Then, when he saw the sun shining, he said, This must be my Lord. It is the greatest. But again, when it set, he declared, O my people, I totally reject whatever you associate with Allah in worship. Surah Al-In'am 75-79. In that debate, Abraham clarified to his people that these celestial bodies do not serve as deities and cannot be worshipped as partners with Allah. Abraham did his best to make his people heedful to the belief in the oneness of Allah and to worship of Him alone. Abraham leaving home. Abraham was trying to expose the truth and initiated a conflict with his people and his father. He respectfully questioned why they worshipped lifeless idols that could neither hear nor see. He urged his father to follow him on the right path and warned against worshipping Satan. Abraham's father reacted angrily, threatening to stone him. In response, Abraham, showing wisdom and respect, expressed his desire for peace and mentioned his intention to pray for forgiveness and distance himself from idol worship. Eventually, he left his father's house, guided by his faith in Allah. Abraham breaks the idols. Abraham attempted to convince his people of Allah's beauty, power, wisdom, and oneness, but they remained committed to idol worship, undeterred. He concealed his plan and waited for a big celebration that would empty the city, allowing him to approach the temple unnoticed. Abraham arrived at the temple when the streets leading to it were empty. With a sharp axe in hand, he entered the deserted temple and observed the statues made of stone and wood, as well as the food offerings laid before them. Addressing the statues, Abraham asked, Will you not eat of the offering before you? What is the matter with you that you do not speak? Surah As-Safat 37:92-93. Abraham raised the axe in his hand and began to destroy the false gods worshipped by the people. He destroyed all of them except the largest one, hanging the axe on its shoulder. Since this statue had destroyed the others, Abraham kept his promise to show his people that it was not wise to worship anything except Allah. He did this by showing them practical evidence. When the people returned, they were shocked to see their gods smashed to pieces, lying scattered all over the temple. They started to think about who was the cause of all this. At last, they knew and realized that it was the prophet Abraham who had invited them to worship God. As mentioned in the Quran, they said, Who has done this to our gods? Indeed, he is of the wrongdoers. They said, We heard a young man talking against them, who is called Abraham. They said, Then bring him before the eyes of the people that they may testify. Surah Al-Anbiya 59-61. They immediately asked for Abraham's presence, and when Abraham came to them, they asked him, Are you the one who has done this to our gods, O Abraham? Abraham responded with a smile, and then pointed to the greatest God, on whose shoulder he had hung the axe. Actually, the big statue might have done it. Then ask the idols if they can speak. They said, Don't you know that they can't speak? Abraham replied, Why do you worship something that cannot speak, provide benefits, or cause harm? Haven't you ever thought before, your gods have been destroyed. These gods cannot even protect themselves from destruction, so how can they bring goodness to you? These gods are not able to avoid the destruction of themselves. Then how can they bring good to you? Do you not want to think for a moment? The axe is on the shoulder of the greatest God, but strangely, he cannot tell what happened. He cannot speak, hear, move, or see. He provides no benefit and does no harm. He is just a stone. Then why do people worship stones? Surah Al-Anbiya 59-67. Prophet Abraham was able to defeat them with logical arguments, but their arrogance prevented them from acknowledging their foolishness. Instead, they used their authority and acted like tyrants, keeping Abraham in chains and plotting their revenge.